You may not realize it, but you are probably self-sabotaging your own happiness or your own success or your own inner peace because your nervous system is wired to keep you safe. And your nervous system thinks it's safer to stay where you are simply because it's familiar. So think about that for a second. Think about your own life and what you are familiar with. What feelings are you familiar with? Are you familiar with feelings of chaos? Are you always running late? Are you always picking fights with your partner? Have you always been messy? All of these things can reflect to us the ways that we are recreating the feelings that we're most comfortable living in. And that's what we call our baseline. Our emotional baseline is like our default setting. It's where we return to. And so I want to make you aware of the fact that we all have these baselines and also these thresholds for receiving love, success, happiness, which you can also think of as a thermostat, right? That dictates how comfortable we are with receiving higher levels of love or higher levels of happiness. And what happens when life gives us experiences that go past our thermostat? We may enjoy it for a little bit, but eventually we bring ourselves back down to our baseline, to our default setting, because that is where we're comfortable. Not because we're truly comfortable there, but because it is what our nervous system, our body, and our brain has always known. What you have to recognize right now is that your nervous system will always choose a familiar hell over an unknown heaven. And if we want to achieve what we say we want to achieve, or if we want to manifest, it requires retraining your brain and nervous system to feel safe receiving whatever it is you want to receive. And what I want to offer to you always is the route of ease. To me, that's what manifestation is all about. It's about choosing the path of least resistance. It's about choosing the path of ease, because a lot of times we choose the harder path, not because we want to, but because it's all we've ever known. So how do we get our nervous system to feel safer receiving higher levels of abundance or higher levels of money, wealth, success, whatever it is that you're seeking in life, yet you're not getting because you're blocking it or self-sabotaging? How do you get yourself to push past that? So one of the easiest ways to push past that is through repetition. If you want to feel safer receiving more wealth, for example, you have to teach your brain and body that it is safe receiving higher amounts of money. But how do you do that when you don't have the higher amounts of money yet? That's where visualization comes in. That's where scripting comes in. Because the more you start envisioning this version of yourself that already has the wealth or that has whatever it is that you seek, when you start envisioning that version of yourself and that reality over and over and over, even when you don't feel like it, even when you don't believe it, little by little, you start retraining your brain and body and nervous system to become comfortable with this new reality, because it starts to see it as possible. It starts to get familiar with it. It's no longer an unknown thing. And so for a lot of us that are trying to manifest something that is unknown to us, it might never happen if we don't take the steps to retrain our mind and body to feel safe receiving them. Because even when we have opportunities to get it, we're going to block it and we're going to self-sabotage. One of my favorite books about self-sabotage that I highly recommend you to read if you really want to push past this is The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks, and I'll link it below in the description. He talks about how we all have this inner thermostat that I mentioned earlier. He calls it the upper limit theory. And when we get to our upper limit, we will self-sabotage to bring ourselves down to the level that we're familiar with. So I just wanted to make you aware of this, because you may be pulling yourself back down without even realizing it. And I'll give you an example from my life. This year, 2025, has been full of self-sabotage for me. I quit my 9 to 5 in March of 2025, and this was my year to figure stuff out, to start a business. And in my head, I thought it was going to be easy, yet I struggled so badly to perform, to function, to get stuff done. This is what I have been manifesting for years. And once I finally got it, I didn't know what to do with it, because I had reached my upper limit. And I have been so aware of this, and I have given myself a lot of grace, because I've known, okay, this is a part part of the process. I read a lot of books about success, and most people's stories sound very similar. It's about having to face their own discomfort. It's about having to push past self-sabotage. And that's why I wanted to bring this up today, because whether you're trying to accomplish a goal or become more healthy and exercise every day, or simply get to a place of peace where you keep your house clean and your environment clean and you feel good, if that has not been the norm for you this far, it's going to be hard at first because you're getting used to a new way of being, you're getting used to a new identity, and self-sabotage is going to happen, and you need to be aware of it because it's an automatic subconscious process. So if you keep wondering, why am I doing this to myself? I know what I need to get done, but why do I sit on the couch and scroll instead? Why am I doing this? When you set a new goal for yourself that requires discipline, that requires daily action, and you're not used to that yet, you're going to choose what comes easiest to you or what has become most familiar to you. The sad reality is, for most of us, we have become so trained and so accustomed to just reaching for our phone. So instead of doing that thing you need to do, you freeze, you scroll, you overthink, you distract yourself, or you convince yourself that you'll do it tomorrow. So I just want to invite you to start recognizing self-sabotage for what it really is. It's not just you avoiding tasks. It's you avoiding the sensations that come up for you when you're pushing past your comfort zone or you're shifting out of your familiar emotional baseline. I'm about to release an ebook called Get Unstuck, which is designed to help you shift out of survival mode by making you aware of all of these patterns and subconscious processes that are holding you back and keeping you stuck in life. Please stay tuned so that you can access that as soon as it's out. As long as I don't self-sabotage myself, it should be released very soon. And to be real, I have experienced a lot of self-sabotage with this book because it's scary, right? It's past my comfort zone. And so I want to be transparent about my own journey with things because I want you to know that you're not alone in these feelings of inadequacy and these feelings of anxiety and these feelings of worry and these feelings of self-doubt. We all feel these things, but the people who succeed, the people who reach their dreams, they're the ones that are able to push past these things regardless of feeling them, because we're all human. We all feel those things. So you have to take back control and stop allowing these subconscious processes that are running on autopilot to keep running the show. Because if you don't become aware of them, you're going to feel out of control of your own life and wonder, why am I like this? Why do I keep doing this to myself? It's all about awareness. So just start becoming aware of those little ways that you're self-sabotaging, and hopefully you can start making some noticeable changes. I hope you have a beautiful day wherever you are. Thank you for tuning into this video. You've got this. I believe in you. I will see you in the next video.